I see you. You've been scrolling through your phone, watching people live their lives, laughing with friends, going to parties, building connections that seem to come so easily to everyone else. And you're wondering, why not me? Maybe you moved to a new city. Maybe your friends got busy with their own lives. Maybe you've been so focused on work, or school, or just surviving, that one day you looked up and realized you're alone. Not physically, you're surrounded by people, but alone in the way that actually matters. And here's what I need you to understand right now. That feeling you have, it's not a flaw. It's not a sign that something's broken in you. It's a signal. Your body trying to tell you something important. You're not alone in feeling alone. In fact, 46% of Americans feel lonely regularly. And if you're between 18 and 34, that number jumps to 60% in some studies. So no, you're not broken. You're human. And if this is already hitting home, if you're feeling seen right now, subscribe to this channel. Because we're building a community of people who refuse to stay isolated. You belong here. Let me explain what's happening inside your head right now. Loneliness isn't just an emotion. It's a biological signal, like hunger or thirst. Your brain is wired to need connection the same way your body needs food. Millions of years ago, being alone meant death. Literally. You couldn't hunt alone. You couldn't defend yourself alone. You couldn't survive alone. So your ancestors who felt the pain of isolation, who felt that ache in their chest when they were rejected or excluded, they were the ones who changed their behavior, reconnected with their tribe, and survived. That pain you're feeling, it's evolution's way of saying, go find your people. But here's where it gets tricky. When loneliness becomes chronic, when it lasts for weeks, months, years, your brain shifts into survival mode. And that's when things start to spiral. Studies show that when you're chronically lonely, your brain becomes hyper-alert to social signals. You start paying more attention to how people look at you, what they say, how they react. But at the same time, and this is the cruel part, you get worse at interpreting those signals correctly. You start seeing hostility where there's none. You assume people don't want you around. You interpret a neutral face as cold or unfriendly. Your brain, trying to protect you, starts seeing the world as a threat. And so you pull back. You stop reaching out. You decline invitations. You convince yourself that people are better off without you. And the more you pull back, the more isolated you become. And the more isolated you become, the harder it is to break the cycle. Does this sound familiar? Here's what I need you to hear. This is not because you're awkward. It's not because you're boring, or unlovable, or fundamentally flawed. Population studies have shown that social skills make almost no difference in whether adults experience loneliness. Rich people feel lonely. Famous people feel lonely. Beautiful, charming, successful people feel lonely. Because loneliness isn't about who you are. It's about what's happening around you and how your brain is responding to it. We live in the most connected time in human history. We have smartphones, social media, instant messaging. We can talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime. And yet, we've never been more isolated. Why? Because we've built a world that prioritizes convenience over connection. We moved away from our hometowns for jobs. We replaced in-person friendships with online interactions. We got busy, so busy, that the easiest thing to sacrifice was time with people. In 1985, the average American had 3 close friends. By 2011, that number dropped to 2. And it's only gotten worse since then. You didn't choose this. You didn't fail at something. You stumbled into it, like millions of others, because modern life makes it almost inevitable. But here's the good news. If you stumbled into it, you can stumble out of it. If you're nodding along, if this is making sense, drop a comment below. Even just, I feel this. Because I promise you, someone else reading this needs to know they're not alone either. Let's talk about the cycle. Because understanding it is the first step to breaking it. It usually goes like this. You feel isolated. That feeling creates tension, sadness, maybe even anxiety. So you start focusing on negative interactions. Someone didn't text you back, they must not care. A friend canceled plans, they must not want to hang out with you. Your thoughts about yourself and others become more negative, and that changes your behavior. You start sitting alone in class. You stop answering calls. You decline invitations until people stop inviting you altogether. And then you tell yourself a story. People don't want me around. And here's the devastating part. The world starts to reflect that story back to you. Not because it's true, but because people pick up on your energy. If you act like you don't belong, others start treating you like you don't. This is the vicious cycle of chronic loneliness, and it gets tighter every time it repeats. But you can break it, not by ignoring the feeling, not by pretending you're fine, but by recognizing what's happening and actively choosing to interrupt the pattern. So how do you do that? First, accept that loneliness is normal. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's a universal human experience. Everyone feels it at some point. Second, challenge your assumptions. Was that interaction with a coworker really negative? Or were they just busy? Did your friend actually blow you off? Or did life just get in the way? Your brain, in self-protection mode, is assuming the worst. You need to consciously choose to give people the benefit of the doubt. Third, and this is the hardest part, you need to put yourself out there again. Even when it's scary, even when you're afraid of rejection. Say yes to invitations. Reach out to old friends. Join a group, a class, a club, something where you'll be around people regularly. Because connection doesn't happen by accident. It happens through repeated, low-stakes interactions. Showing up, being present, letting people see you. And yes, it's vulnerable. Yes, it's risky. But the alternative, staying isolated, is far more painful. If you need professional help to navigate this, there's no shame in that. Therapy isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of courage. But either way, you have to make a choice. Stay in the cycle or break it. Here's the truth I need you to walk away with. You are not a burden. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are human. And humans need other humans. It's not optional. It's biological. The world we've built, with all its technology, convenience, and speed, can't satisfy that need. No amount of likes, followers, or online friends will fill the space that real, physical, human connection fills. You were not designed to do life alone. And staying alone, that's not inevitable. It's a choice. So lift your head, reach out, take the risk, because people need people. And connection, real, messy, vulnerable connection, is the reason we're alive. If this video meant something to you, subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know you're here. Because we're in this together. And together is how we survive. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.